when the tragedy does come, it comes repeatedly, tragedy after tragedy. And you're just begging God, like, when am I going to get a break here for a minute?
When can I come up for air?
Right. Because I feel like I'm getting buried. But you have to remember, you have to step back and look at it from a different angle. So you feel like you're getting buried, but God is planting seeds.
No. Ooh, that's better, right, babe?
Yeah!
Yeah. She founded an architectural concrete company.
He founded a $100 million clothing company.
She took the world by storm as a social media star.
He took the world by storm as a famous serial entrepreneur.
Together we started a business.
And had babies.
Now we're figuring out the best ways to do both.
Join us as we learn from other entrepreneurs going through the same life struggles.
As they share their life hacks about success, love, kids.
And everything in between.
Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Quote by Winston Churchill. Life is full of peaks and valleys. You can't enjoy peaks until you've been in the valleys.
Welcome to the Pretty and Punk Podcast. I'm Dan Caldwell, and I'm here with my beautiful wife,
Ildiko Ferenci. Hi, guys.
and we're ready for another great podcast today. We've been talking about all the great things that are playing out in our life. Actually, I forgot to mention that the podcast is in the top 10 again
Yes,
for
so exciting.
parenting and relationships and
All the good stuff.
Yeah, we thank you guys for helping us do that. We really appreciate it. Today's podcast, we wanted to talk about, there's so many great things happening in our life right now that we wanted to talk about because this has happened. And, the more that you go through life, you start to realize that this plays out over and over again. But don't take the good times for granted. Because I think so many people think, I watch a lot of people on Instagram building their businesses, and you see these coaches and different people that are doing different things in the world.
Entrepreneurs.
And or whatever they're doing in life.
Influencers.
And
Whatever they're
influencers. And they're probably, I've been where they are, and it probably feels like that nothing can go wrong in their life. But as we know, there's always peaks. That life is made up of peaks and valleys. And at some point, you're going to be on a peak. And then I guarantee it, at some point, the valley is coming.
Yeah, there's such danger in taking the good times for granted because if you're on your high horse, their chances are you're going to slip off at one point or another.
You're going, you're getting humbled. There's a time that comes that, hey, this person needs a humbling, or you've got comfortable and you just felt like, oh, this money's just going to keep coming in, and things are, there's so much that happens in people's businesses. Like the algorithm gets changed right away, and then all of a sudden your business crashes.
Or they
you have
close
to pivot.
a certain platform. There's just so many obstacles.
Before we get into that, let's jump into this. Hey guys, we hope you're enjoying today's episode of the Pretty and Punk Podcast. And if you are, and you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. It just takes a second. It means so much to us because it really helps the podcast get out there to more listeners like you guys. And if you know anybody it might help and you can send it to them, we really appreciate that too.
We also love and appreciate your reviews. Even the babies look forward to them every day. If you share this episode on social media today, don't forget to tag us. We want to celebrate you because we know it's not easy being a parent in business, and the way that you juggle things makes you a superhero. That's worth a shout out. Together, we have a community of our personal followers as well, and we just want to put it out there. We want to show everybody that this juggle is possible, and you are our family, and we're so proud and grateful to have you a part of this family. So don't forget, all the links are below in the show notes. And thank you again, and let's get back to the show.
Don't take the good times for granted, because at some point you are going to hit a valley, right? We all hit valleys. At some point, you're going to hit a valley. And if you're not ready for it, it's going to devastate you.
That's right. So many of us make the mistake of thinking that the good times are going to last forever, that the money is going to keep flowing, and that the people that we love are going to be around us forever.
Yeah.
We take those things for granted. And if you don't know how to handle the tragedies that may come, you can get lost in that.
Oh, I mean, I've been there. And, in different ways. When I lost my job as a police officer, I felt like I was on top of the world. I'm doing exactly what I love to do. And we were about to be taken over by the sheriff's department. And I was like, I was planning out, now I can go anywhere in the county and this is going to be great. And then I lost my job. When Tap Out was at its height,
right,
when we were doing a reality show, we were on we just wrapped our second season of our reality show. We're doing hundreds of millions of dollars in sales. We're all over the world. I'm traveling to these different countries to set them up for licensing, so that we're going to be, our brand is being all over the world. We were in Japan, and I'm walking by and I see this huge window and it's Tap Out, and I'm, pictures of us in this window, and we're traveling all over the world. We're doing these big shows, we're in the video game. All these great things are happening. We're coming home, and I remember getting off of a plane, and we had to come straight to the Tap Out headquarters to do a photo shoot for this big magazine. And it was one of the first magazines, the biggest magazine we'd ever been in, and one of the first magazines that it was a non-mixed martial arts magazine. It was a regular magazine. And we were going to be on the cover of it, and we were going to do this big photo shoot. So we did all this stuff. And then that night, my partner was killed. Charles was killed. And that, on top of the world. We were on top of the world. And then he passes away. And it's over. It's like we're heading straight towards the valley. Yeah. And you're never prepared for it. And if you're not prepared in some way, at least so that gut check, if you're prepared for that gut check, it's like when you tighten. Have you ever been punched in the stomach? Well, you probably haven't been, but us guys do stupid stuff like punch me in the stomach and see how hard you can punch me. Yeah. We do stupid stuff like that. If you've ever done anything like that, that if you're not ready for it, the wind's going to get knocked out of you.
Right.
And you'll just fall to your knees because you can't take a breath. Yeah. But if you tighten up your stomach and you're ready for it, and they punch you in the stomach, it almost won't hurt you. Right. And because you're ready for it. And that's just like life. Life is the same exact way, that if you prepare yourself and you're ready for it, you'll be okay.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You have to have that it's like you have to have the training to prepare you for the tragedies that are going to happen in life, because there's going to be some kind of tragedy, I guarantee you, some kind of obstacle. And if you can't handle that, you're going to feel like you're drowning. And as we were discussing before, like a brick in the face. And sometimes tragedy comes again, one after the other. It's weird because I feel many people, even myself, and I'm sure with you, when the tragedy does come, it comes repeatedly, tragedy after tragedy, and you're just begging God, like, when am I gonna get a break here for a minute?
When can I come up for air?
Right, because I feel like I'm getting buried. But you have to remember, you have to step back and look at it from a different angle. So you feel like you're getting buried, but God is planting seeds. And with those seeds that are planted, you're going to get a strong tree eventually. So while you feel like you're getting buried, it's actually strengthening you. So you just really need to step back and look at it in a different light.
Yeah, you're in that season. I'm sure you've had some times, some struggles, some things that you've had to go through lately. And I felt for you, because there's some of those things I can't I mean, I can try to say some stuff. I can try to help
Yeah.
you, but you're living through it.
You got to figure it out on your own.
When your
and
mom
your
passed
own-
away, it
Yeah.
was just something that, it's, that those things are going to happen one day and you can prepare for them the best you can. But
Yeah.
until they happen, you just are not prepared.
Yeah. Oh, that was hard. And then there's a lot of stuff growing up that was very hard. And I do remember asking the question, why is this happening to me? And I had to look at it from a different light. And I do remember when my brother passed, I had to look at things in a different way. Well, if I could have the choice, because you have to think of things that make you okay. If I had the choice to never have him in my life or just the certain time that I had him in my life, what would I choose? And of course, I'm going to choose to have him in my life as long as I did. Then with my mother, I couldn't, and I still am struggling with the fact of her, dying so suddenly, not having the conversations that we needed to have. I really didn't think that was going to happen. And then having to fight for weeks to get an autopsy and all the other things that went up on top of that. Then they wouldn't give me the space that was beside my brother. And I know that was her wish. I thought we had the plot right beside David. And then them telling me that we couldn't have that plot. I'm just putting this out there, not for anybody to feel sorry for me, but just the little things that you have to, when you're supposed to be breaking down and having a breakdown, but you have to be strong and stand on your feet and talk to these medical professionals that are telling you, no, you're not going to get an autopsy. And you have to write clever letters to fight for her right to get answers. Then you need to fight to get property beside your brother so they could be together. This was negotiation, smart talk, just calling and calling and calling. Do not, whatever you're going through, don't give up. We got the spot. Certain things did not go my way, but if you just give up in those hard times, you're going to feel you're gonna be very upset with yourself. But those things, trust me, they are building resilience. They're building strength within you. And when the good times do come, man, you're gonna appreciate them. You're gonna just hold on to them, and you're going to cherish them, and you're gonna cherish the people in your life. Maybe some of you haven't lost anyone. Well, my biggest advice to you is just hold on to everyone, have the relationships with everyone, because when the grief comes, it's a whole different.
Well, I think that's a part of not taking the good times for granted.
Exactly.
Because if you're checking those boxes before those things happen, you're spending time with your close loved ones as much as you can. You're preparing your finances, having your finances ready. I mean, that's one of the worst things for people is that if you're prepared in those places, that it doesn't make those valleys so low, because you don't, the valleys are going to be low, but sometimes if they're not so low that you can't recover, because you want to be able to recover from them. So if you're prepared in the good times by not taking those for granted, if you prepare in the good times, you're ready for those valleys when they come. You're ready for those times when they come. And I don't know about you, but do you ever get like this where like you're almost when there's really, really good times where you almost expect like some bad stuff to come.
No,
like
don't
something
do that,
bad's
because
coming.
that invites.
Well, I know. I tried not to do it, but there's some part of me. I wasn't expected Charles passing. That wasn't something that I was expecting, but I was like, really? Like, this is happening right now? We just got that, and we're making this kind of money and all these great things are happening. I'm always waiting for... I guess I do some sort of overcompensation when I start to think that bad times are coming. I'm going to fix everything. So I'm looking at, I'm rechecking. Do we have all of our I's dotted and our T's crossed, and this is ready and this is fixed, and if that happens, we'll fix it this way. And I just over prepare. I guess
I'm like that. I was raised like that though, to always have a backup plan or have something to lean into if something doesn't work out. Yeah, I mean that is something that is very smart to do, but don't invite the negative. Don't predict that something bad is going to happen. But at the same time, I do feel that it's really smart to be prepared and have some kind of plan.
Right.
What
was the best time you think? I mean, of course, other than when you got with me, what was the best time like in your life where you thought like things can't get better than this? Like this is perfect.
Okay.
Like, this is the greatest moment of my life. And then, of course, the hammer had to drop at some point, right?
Yeah. Ugh, dang.
I mean, I know we all have a lot of this. We all have ups and downs, right?
I was just thinking about this the other day, but just, having Daniel, becoming a mother, and I was going through so much with my mom because at the same time, right when I had him, I was supposed to be healing from my C-section, because I had to have it because of medical condition. I'm so tiny, and we can do a whole podcast about it because I know a lot of people ask me about C-section, and I had to have it with him. But during that time, my mom got really sick. She got the C word, and she was fighting for her life. So basically, I had you in the car with the newborn because I didn't want to bring Daniel into the hospital.
We were out of the country. We had to fly back into the country.
Well, we were in and out. Well, I mean, we lived in Vancouver, but you had your own stuff.
Yeah, but we were somewhere.
Going.
We flew out of the country or something, or did we go to the States or something like that?
No, I couldn't leave. I was in Vancouver. I had the baby in Vancouver. We didn't leave.
Oh,
my
we were
mom.
Still there. Okay.
Yeah. So
You have a better memory than me.
What are you talking about? I can't fly. I just got, how many layers do they cut through? I could barely walk. I remember limping, right? I remember limping into the hospital and trying to be there for her. And, finally she recovered. And that was the great part. We did everything we could. We were so empowered. We said no to certain treatments, and she was golden. Now, with the second baby, which is crazy because it took me how many years to get pregnant? That was insane, heartbreaking. And Daniel, for his second birthday, says, I want to have a baby. So everything is going so amazing. 1 month after Daniel asks for a baby sister, I get pregnant. I have the best pregnancy in my life. And of course, I know I'm going to have to go in for this C-section. And I was scared for that. But excited, obviously, because I'm going to meet my baby girl. Baby girl. He told me I was having a baby girl. I never thought in a million years, from male-dominant family on your side, my side, everything was going so perfect. I got a little boy. I got a little girl. My mom said nothing could be more perfect. This is so amazing. I have the baby. Of course, it's harder for me to heal this time, but in divine intervention, they find something that's been hiding in my body. We're not going to talk about it, but it's life-threatening.
Well, here's the thing. I think you skimmed over this a little easily. Everything was perfect, and we're going great, and life is great.
Wait, I almost forgot this point, because this time I'm not going to have to deal with my mom being sick. She's healthy this time. So I could really enjoy because this period goes by, the newborn phase goes by so quick. I could do photo shoots this time, lots of them all the time, soak in the babies, both of them together. It's gonna be great.
Travel
the world. We're gonna do amazing things. Bring my mom.
We have all these things planned, and we're talking about
it.
And then we decide to go to this doctor's appointment, and it was so.
Let's not get into that. But I got hit in the face with I just hate talking about it. I don't want to talk about it because honestly, it's traumatic, and I don't want to go to that.
Well, I'll just say that I didn't even go into the doctor.
Yeah.
That's how great things were going. Like going to the doctors. When you get out, we're gonna go get something to eat. We're
gonna go for lunch. Don't come in. Stay with the babies. They look tired. I don't want to bring them into the doctor. I hate bringing the babies into hospitals or doctors' offices. I don't want them to get sick or whatever. I'm gonna run in. I'm gonna run in for 2 minutes, and my life changed. And
that's how it happens. That's exactly how it happens. You take life for granted, and you know, God is great. God is playing out in our lives, and then you take it for granted, and He has to check you. You know, He has to. You're not appreciating the things the blessings that are going on in your life.
Well, I don't know if I was honestly really grateful for you don't even know how hard because I mean, I had another relationship and that was hard for me. I mean, I think we broke up. One of the biggest reasons was because we didn't become parents. Like, it was just awful, like divorce. It's just crazy. So I was just so grateful. I couldn't understand, but I understand now because you don't see it in the moment, but these things are setting you up for your purpose. So I don't want to say that I was taking it for granted, but
sometimes it's just a different direction, or you're being prepared for something. Those hard times, when they come, those valleys, when they come, you learn so much.
I learned so much. I learned so much because
I've never heard anybody say they didn't learn from being at a low point. If nothing else, you just learned that you don't want to be there again.
Can I just tell you something that I would... I mean, this is scary. I don't want to do it again, but just the whole experience when I gave myself fully to God, because as we talked about, we like to be fully prepared, have a backup plan, figure everything out. I didn't have one for this experience. So I had to fully give myself to God.
Yeah.
And the peace and the happiness and the joy that I felt. Yes, I was getting skinnier. I looked, I didn't look the same. I was dealing with a lot, but I was so happy. Nobody would have known what I was going through. And it's such a miracle to truly, I thought I was happy before, but after this whole thing and the serious surgeries, I was so happy, so grateful. Every word, every look, I remember just trying to memorize every single thing, every curve, the feeling of my baby's hands, the feeling of it, because I wasn't allowed to pick them up for several months after this surgery. And I remember going, this is going to be so awful, but I would improvise. We would lay on the bed and I would hold them that way. And I was nursing my baby, and even just the gratitude of not taking the medicine in the hospital because I was nursing and I was so scared that I was going to dry up. And I wanted my new baby to have the nutrition that Daniel had because he was so smart and so strong and never got sick. I was begging the nurses for a pump. I was so grateful when they finally brought one. But then Dan brought the baby in, and I remember the nurse crying because I refused to take my painkillers and stuff. And it was, they did bypasses and removed over 80% of my stomach. And my nurse was crying because she said, only a mother would do this. Only a mother. And Destiny was in there. We were nursing. I was so happy. What a lesson that God gave me. And now I can truly talk to people in the darkest of dark and say, I can, how they say there's two candles and sometimes someone loses their light. Mm-hmm. I have the trust to be able to talk to someone that's lost their light, to be able to light it. And so do you.
Yeah,
when you go through these tragedies,
from going through this.
Right. And you can spark that when people don't see that they have that light and they feel that they're at the very end, there's nothing else they can do, that they're so scared, they're so lost that they feel like they're dying. And I could see that I could have gone there, but I went the other direction. And it's like, what do you get? Like the Marines, they get those badges. It's like, well, I lost my brother. My dad left me. All these things. It's like, listen, I am very capable to help you out of this hole, and just really appreciate those moments. I'm so happy talking about it, although I know it's such an emotional thing.
It is. And you were so powerful at that time. I mean, I remember you couldn't move, but I could feel your strength. You were, I can remember you, we had a hotel because we had to stay close to the hospital.
Yeah.
And you couldn't move very much. So I had to take the kids out every day, and we were, I'd leave Destiny with you sometimes, so that you could, but sometimes I'd take Destiny so you
I
could
just felt
sleep.
so bad because I couldn't play with
But
Daniel,
you
with Destiny.
powered through some stuff. Like you were up trying to do it all, and I would just not let you because you just, you're 2 days from surgery.
I know,
you just got
and
out
I
of the
wasn't
surgery.
taking my painkillers.
And
Do you remember the shots, though? Do you remember those
shots?
shots? I had to take, I think it was 30 days. I had to take stupid shots so I didn't get a blood clot. Dan's afraid of needles.
Yeah, I had nothing to do with it.
I'm not doing it.
Nothing
I'm like,
to do with
did
it.
you just do it?
You said
Oh,
you got all
my.
those tattoos. How'd you get those tattoos?
I had to give myself these big old needles every day. Oh my God.
I'll watch the babies.
Oh dear.
I gave you shots too.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I 1,000% did.
No, you
yes,
didn't.
Yes, I did. I did give you shots. Yes, you did. You made me give you shots. Yes, I didn't want to.
No.
Yes, I did. Not
Why
all
are
of them.
you
I gave a few.
Maybe one. I don't
No, I
remember.
gave you a
It's not
few.
in my memory.
Yeah, I
At
remember
all.
it because I didn't want to do it.
Well, when you said you didn't want to do it, then I remember. I mean, I don't remember you giving me a shot, but if you are so scared of it, like I know how you twitch and stuff. There's no way you're coming
wasn't gonna
anywhere
twitch.
near me with a
Come on,
needle
no.
so it could break off. And I had enough going
was a
on.
little
That was
tiny needle.
enough.
Okay. I just don't like needles for myself. I don't mind needles for you.
No.
Okay, guys. So you guys know that these times are coming, and I'm sure many of you guys who are listening to this have been in those valleys before, so you know what that's like too.
Yeah.
So we just learned so much from being in those valleys. I mean, we all get lessons, and we come out stronger and better because of it. And that's why we get to that next peak. When we're in that valley and we have our tools are being forged in fire.
Yes.
And we get to that next peak because of that valley that sharpened us. And so if you're in one of those valleys right now, I just know that the peak is coming. There is a peak that's coming.
It can't rain forever. The sun, it's just the way it is.
It's on the horizon.
The
You're
sun
in that
is
season
coming. It doesn't
where-
rain forever.
Yeah, you're in
It
that
doesn't
season
snow forever.
where
Spring
it's
is
snowing,
coming. Summer is
but I
coming.
promise you, spring is coming, and you're going to be okay. So if you
Yes.
guys, if you need to talk to somebody, go talk to somebody. You are powerful. You can do anything. If nothing else, listen to these stories of some of the people that we interview or some of our stories that you have it in you to get out of that valley.
That's right. And I need to add one thing that really helped me. And the people around us, when you pray and stand on the promises of the good book, because there are promises in there. And when you pray bold prayers like it's already happened, that you will get through this financial crisis. You will get through the illness. They are not, the doctor's words are not final. And thank you, God, that I was able to see that with my mom. They said if she didn't do chemo, she's gonna be dead in a couple weeks. Well, she didn't do it. And I'm not advising anybody to do that, because I was a little scared for her. I said, they're saying you need to do this, and she said, no, I'm not doing it. And then we talked to her doctor, Dr. Scott, and he said, I see a lot of things go both ways. And he was an old doctor. He was ready to retire. So he really had some strong thoughts and feelings that possibly a young doctor wouldn't talk about. But I love that we were all able to support her decision. And anyway, just pray bold prayers, and those things really help you. Whatever it is that helps you to be stronger. But I know with me, in my circle, it's the bold prayers and standing on the word of God.
Thank you guys for tuning in to the Pretty and Punk podcast. You guys are going to get out of that valley if you're in that valley, and be sure, if you're not in that valley and you're in good times, don't take them for granted.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
And I pray that they last forever for you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We'll see you guys next week. And thank you guys again. God bless.
God bless. Take care.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Pretty and Punk podcast. Just remember, those bad times aren't always going to stay, and those good times aren't always going to stay. So keep your head up and keep trying. God bless. Love you. Thank you for listening. I hope that changed your life. God bless. See you next time.